Hello, everybody. Realtor Reputation coming at you with episode 11. I'm Apryl Lopez.
And I'm Shannon Bisordi.
And we are so happy that you're here. Everybody who's liked, subscribed, done all of that good stuff, continue on. We appreciate you greatly. But today we've got a good episode.
We do. We've had a lot going on.
So let's just get started.
Just jump in. Spring is in the air.
Spring is, and I know I'm so tired. Maybe it's the transition of I don't know, my days being longer.
I mean, the time zone did happen a while ago, but I feel like I still miss that hour of sleep.
Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's it. I'm going to blame it.
That's what it is. Although I will say, okay, now I'm going to get off topic already. Look at that. Not having to take my kids to school every day. I feel like I'm like this whole new person in the morning.
Like you could think.
Getting ready. Picked up my house yesterday. And I was like, who's this person? With time. So anyway, let's jump right into it. We are going to start with Mom Moment of the Week. And I know Shannon, of course, has a good one.
Well, I've had 2 weeks now. I've had two of my broke friends have 2 different weeks off. So
that's so hard.
So it's like we couldn't really go anywhere. And unfortunately this year, we had COVID and we had the flu. So my girls have missed 16 days of school this year.
Did they get a truancy letter?
One of them did. Mm-hmm. But they were all excused and we had doctor's notes. But so we couldn't really justify taking any more time.
I get it.
So anyway, I've been juggling that. We got to see the total eclipse not the total eclipse, sorry, the partial eclipse with Staffy. I got some glasses.
I was going to start singing the song.
Total eclipse.
Seriously.
You want to bust out.
Do you know I didn't even realize that there was an eclipse happening?
I mean, you've been so busy, I can't.
I'm busy. That's what it is. And I'm busy, not just with work, but with my kids and life and everything else. So by the time I sit down on the couch, we'll watch a Netflix show. I don't watch the news much. Maybe now with all my free time in the morning, I can turn on the morning.
Oh yeah, I like Good Morning America. I like that one, or the Today Show. It's a little more upbeat. I don't like our local news. It's very depressing.
But I don't have a TV in my bedroom. That can be a whole nother episode. Yeah. I don't believe in TVs in a bedroom. I think it's helped my marriage, but we'll put it that way. But no, I don't know. I'd have to turn on the TV in the living room. I don't know. I just don't watch the news. So anyway, I walk into the office and someone's like, "Did you get the eclipse sunglasses?" And I was like,
"What are you talking about?
What?" And I guess there's a frenzy.
A frenzy. But so what happened? So because my girls are going to be going to high school next year, I've been really trying to embrace the last moments of them kind of being kids in a way. So I've been really I've been overly volunteering, as my husband said, "What did you sign up for now?" But so I'm helping plan one of my daughter's 8th grade dinners.
They're not going to want you around.
And in my other daughter, so we went to the Pioneer High School. Did you know, in Santa Rosa, they have a full planetarium in there? Did you know this?
I had no idea.
I had no idea. And then they have this other, I don't even know, Dylan would probably know what it is, but this other area that looks like a dome. And then they have this high-end space room that has the ceiling that opens up, and they have this telescope, and they do all these classes, and then they also offer community nights.
I had no
idea. Which is so cool. So if
I
you
know
have
the JC used to have
but they do it here. So twice a month, Pioneer does these cool nights that you can go see different things. Anyway, so we had a field trip there, and it was kind of cool. So I learned about the eclipse from trying to pay attention as a student. As a 40-something-year-old, I was like, I'm going to see if science is more exciting now than it was when I was, 14. So it was really cool. The kids were sleeping. We had to nudge them awake. But I thought, as an adult, I enjoyed it more. So anyways, they are really cool. They had all these glasses that they gave to the teachers. And then Abby's school did a full-on eclipse where they brought out the school and they did an hour.
Oh, that's cool.
So me being silly didn't get a pair, and then like you said, there was a frenzy. Yeah. So we were down in Corte Madera, and I saw
my favorite place.
And I saw this lady walking around with these glasses, and Warby Parker. So shout out to Warby Parker, the glasses store. They have one. They have one in Corte Madera. They do glasses and contacts. They were giving them out free, as promo. Nice. So I walked in there and I was like, "Can I get some eclipse glasses?" Yeah. So I had them. So Safi and we got up and we watched it in our backyard. But I think the most special mom moment was we have our neighbor next door who's in her late 80s, who's like a grandma. And I know she was like at home. So we ran over in our pajamas and we like knocked on the door and we brought her outside because we're not going to see this for another, 36 years or 30 something years. And I made her come outside and I have a picture of her. It's so cute. And she's like, wow, this is amazing. So it was kind of a cool, like,
I love it.
kindness moment and mom moment. That was really neat.
Heartwarming.
But in the middle of all this craziness, the just client stuff, I'm trying to work
While
as
your
you
kids are at
are,
home. Yeah.
and that's fun. But I had a call and I don't know how I'm going to ask you, maybe it's like, how do you handle this situation? So I had a call. So I sold a house a few years ago and it was on a court.
Yeah.
Like a townhouse or PUD. And, I represented the seller, but I met some of the people in the court, and this one lady was really amazing, and she liked me, so she took my card 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I got a call from a family friend who knows her and says, hey, she'd like to refer you her friend to buy one of the houses in the courts. And I said, oh, okay, great. That's great. Thank you so much.
You keep your card for 2 years.
Right? She put it right on the fridge. Like she maybe put it right on her fridge, so it must still be there. So anyway, so she said she wants her friend to buy it because she wants to pick the neighbors. Neighbors always want to pick the neighbors, right?
Yes.
But they don't always get to pick the
They're
neighbors.
always curious, like, why are they selling? Why are these people moving? Who's going to buy the house?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea.
She's like, there's been a lot of drama on the court. So as soon as somebody says that in a neighborhood, like my Hollywood TV life flashes to Desperate Housewives. Because I used to love that show. I'm like, ooh, who's having a drama? Who's killing who? What's happening?
Cocktail hour on a Friday night.
So anyways, and she's like, and then like she's texting me, and then I get like another couple minutes later. I hate to say this, but the person who sold the house to is really horrible. He's the one causing all the drama.
Way to go, Shannon.
And she goes, I know you didn't pick him. What do you do? I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I had no idea.
I have had a similar cut.
I've never had this happen.
Well, I've had a similar scenario. I sold a house that was once my house.
Okay.
Right? So I know the neighbors very, very well. And they loved me.
So do they like want to set up like on the sidewalk and have a panel interview with the people?
Like they straight do.
They
almost, right? Like you'll always see like when you sell a house in a neighborhood, like do you notice like the garage doors are open and people will be like cutting their lawn.
Or they're literally all
like
standing in the living room of your open house.
Oh, yeah. And they're just sitting there like this, like, oh, well, so-and-so 2 houses down from here. Like okay. The drama
well,
begins.
and I had one that my friend lived on the street. And I used to call it Desperate Housewives because it was a street. It was literally, everybody knew everything that was going on. It was kind of creepy.
That's why I live in the. That's why I like to live in the middle.
Yeah. And my friend was like, if she liked the people, she was literally in my open house. She's like, because she's my friend. And so if she liked the person, she'd be like, oh my God, this is the best neighborhood. Like we do this and this. And if she didn't like the person, she's like, yeah, the street's really narrow. Like a lot of cars park out here. Like it's just so funny.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It was just really hilarious. So she's like, well, I'm trying to pick my neighbors. I'm like, you can't do this. Like go home.
No, yeah, like you can't. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So this neighborhood I know, we ended up, I wasn't an agent at the time, so my old agent sold it, but come to find out, our friends were searching for a house. And I was like, for one, you could have told me that. I would have sold it to you off market. Fine, whatever. But we went through the whole rigmarole of like staging, well, with our house, with our furniture, because I've got...
But you still would have used a realtor off market.
Oh, absolutely I would have. But I wouldn't have had to like make my beds every morning and deal with the whole like...
And not cook for like a week?
Yes. Yeah, I think we had like burritos that whole week. We went on vacation over the weekend,
so you don't have to
we don't have to deal with anything. And she took care of the open houses. And then my friends ended up sending me a photo because they go to the open house. They're like, we didn't realize you were selling your house. Drinking my beer.
No.
My garage. Yeah, anyway. So
you should talk to your agent about getting control of the open house.
Right? I mean, it was all in fun and games. Like, it's fine. They like FaceTimed us, but...
they're like laying in your bed with their feet on.
I know. I'm like, what is happening right now? So anyway, we sold our house to our friends, and then...
So they ended up buying it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they ended up buying it. And then I was an agent after the fact, and then I sold it again because they moved out of state or whatever. But when I sold it, because everybody in the neighborhood loved my friends.
More than you? Were you jealous?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. But then everybody's like, wait, who's the buyer? Who's this? Who's that? And then still to this day, I'll get phone calls like, oh, did you know that such and such who lives at that house now did this, did that? And I was like, I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It is like so bad. And I think like the worst is like when that happens and then the people don't keep their house up. Like that's the one I've gotten calls like, you know, I don't understand why people don't like mow their lawns or like if you don't want to have a lawn, like there's lots of alternatives.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bark. I mean, I could do a whole episode on what you could do instead.
You should come to my house right now. Like,
but you live in the country. It's different when you live like in a subdivision where people drive by and you have like
a little manicured lawn
and all your crap on the front yard and stuff like that. So I get, or the broken down car and the, you know, like, or like when there's ordinances and they decide like they're going to like use the street as their RV parking.
Oh,
that's like the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, not in our neighborhood, but that's like the one thing I look for.
Oh,
I think I told you I was like showing a house to clients and there was like a boat down the street. I took a picture. I'm like, deal breaker.
My husband always says, if we're looking at a house, this was when we were like on our search or whatever, we would go look at a house and he goes, okay, we're driving into the neighborhood. If there's 2 adult men driving or riding on bicycles, looking like they're like just cruising around.
They're looking to what garage to break in, right?
He's like, that's it. If we see 2 adults, we are not buying in this neighborhood. That was his, I swear to God, this is his deal breaker. So there was this one house. I loved this house. I was so ready to put an offer on.
Oh, no.
We went and there was one adult man who was riding this bike down the street.
The other one was being towed on a skateboard behind.
So he's all, no, I think it's okay. I think it will be okay. And then he's like, let's just go back for a second look. So like a few days later we went and there was 2 adult men riding bikes. And he's like, absolutely not. Absolutely. And we just truly didn't even put an offer on. Oh my God. Because he's like, I can't do it.
So my husband's like deal breaker is he has the same thing, but his is like he'll drive around and if the yards are not manicured or if so bad, if there's too many 4-wheel drive, big lifted work trucks, that means like that a bunch of partiers live there. Like
if they drive a 4-wheel
no, like 3 or 4 of them. It means like it must be like a rental or like somebody, you know. So there's going to be parties.
Yeah.
So we can't.
The things that people do. So. Hey, let us know. Like comment.
Like what's your deal breaker?
Yeah, right. Like,
I mean, the car on the lawn. Have you ever seen a car on the lawn? That's definitely a deal breaker.
And I mean,
because you're out of parking.
Those are funny. But I mean, obviously working with buyers, there's some quirky things that, and I'm like, cool, whatever.
So what do you tell so we're not allowed to steer, right?
Correct.
So what do you tell your buyers, like when you see these red flags, but their red flags might not be your red flags? What is your advice?
I try to be very, very cautious so I don't steer somebody. But I'm just like, well, you know, if this doesn't check all your boxes, then we can go look at this house, this house, this house. Because usually when I'm touring, I'll maybe tour it different or whatever. But I'll be like, well, if this doesn't check your boxes or you might want to check out the crime rate.
I always say, I can't do this for you.
Right.
But you may want to check the crime rate.
And then I always go on Megan's Law.
Yeah. And then I always say, come back at night.
Yes.
And because sometimes at night, like, you know, you kind of see how many people live in a house. Because if you drive by in the day and then at night you can't get down the street, you know, like it's hard to have parking.
I do actually tell my clients, especially when they're buying into like a condo association or something like that, and they're concerned about parking and that sort of thing, go drive back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do.
Go through the neighborhood.
Yes,
go do all
good. That's really good advice.
Yeah, and I try, but I don't say anything.
No, we can't.
No, I'm like,
but when we can't like provide that information, we can give you a link and tell you where to go. With really wide eyes, like.
But my husband can judge. We'll say that when we're buying.
Oh, what was that? Duck! There's a gunshot next door.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that. Bye. Good thing we don't have any of those.
No,
I don't think. In Sonoma County. Have we ever had one? I don't.
Well, I had one where they thought I was a cop.
What?
Yeah. So when I first started.
Wait, like a cop shot somebody?
No, they thought I was a cop pulling up and they were doing a drug deal next door.
Oh, interesting.
And the guy was clearly packing. I could see the handle. And I'm like this little tiny, 25-year-old, like, oh shit. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, and he's all looking at me, and they're like, got their drug deal of whatever they have in their hand. And he's got his gun, and I'm like, I'm just the realtor.
Oh my gosh, like I would be so terrified.
And my clients are like, and I'm just like thinking, like, if this isn't like, you might not want this next door. I don't know what is, but
sorry guys, I can't get the lockbox open. Let's just get back.
well,
in the car.
that was like a house where they had like hypodermic needles like on the floor.
Oh,
yeah. And then there was a
I mean, I've walked through houses where there's like
well, and I just like
rat poop everywhere.
yeah, there was needles, and then there was like a crack, like something on the yeah.
My
Like
goodness.
I've had a lot of good stories. I always say I should write a book. And then I went outside, and I think somebody was living in. They had like a shed, and it was like looked like a druggie den, And I heard somebody run, so I don't know if like, yeah.
Right.
So that's really scary. But needless to say, you probably didn't want to live in that neighborhood. And my clients, we like walked in and walked out really quickly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But this was back like during the foreclosure era, in like 2007, 2008. Yeah. So like. People would get evicted, and then squatters would come and, stuff
graffiti.
Like yeah, it was really
all that good stuff.
Yes.
So,
anyways,
okay, cool.
That was fun times.
Super fun times. We get really off topic sometimes,
but we have really good stories. I think. I mean, I don't know. You could tell us if you like our off-topic stories.
Let us know.
So we want to know. Please comment your deal breakers.
Yes, I'm so.
And we want to share it. If you have like good ones, we will share it.
Yes. I need to get so much better about like posting stuff on Instagram. I'll work on that this week.
Well, you're doing great. I know, but it's hard. We don't have
tired.
We need people.
We need people. If you are a person and you
want an internship, let us know.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're looking for interns
on like posting.
Well, you know what? New Heights. They have, what is it? The intern. We need the New Heights intern.
That he's really not an intern.
I'm sure he's not. They have like a multi-million-dollar. I think they got a studio now.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yes. Well, I actually haven't even watched a podcast lately. I've just been listening to music.
Yeah, but they have like they've been shooting in Hollywood, and like their background is not like in their houses anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Doesn't look like our background now. It's like a full-on like studio.
I loved that you saw like Jason's couch behind you.
I know. So it's now it's kind of like they've gone big time, which is really awesome. But it's kind of like sad because I kind of liked the organicness of it.
And like the girls, you would hear Jason's kids like running around upstairs.
I know.
It was just cute.
I know. And he's up, did you see, for 2 Emmys for his Kelsey documentary?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That was really cool. It just was posted yesterday, which I thought was kind of neat because
you're so much like on it when it comes to
I follow like news. It's all on my feed, unfortunately.
Can you just like start sending me stuff?
Yes, I'll keep you
like things like important things. There's an eclipse happening.
Yes, it only happens every 30-something years.
Just send me the news. And then and as much as people like think I'm on Instagram all the time, like I'm really not. But if you send me like a message, I see the little like bubble and I'll be like, oh, I've got a message. Let me look at it. So just send me
I'll send you the highlights.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes,
moving on.
Okay, moving on to our Swiftie Sell of the Month. And with that, we're going to keep it local today.
Because in Sonoma County, we do have properties over $10 million.
We sure do. And this one is actually listed by a Sotheby's agent, local in Petaluma. It is a $17 million home. It's over on Lakeville Highway. So if you are local to the area and you know it, Lakeville Highway, you've got the river that backs this property, which is it's just a gorgeous setting.
Yes, and back in the day, like it was mostly always like farmland out there.
Yes.
So a lot of ranches and people own hundreds and hundreds of acres, and over the years they've been split and divided.
Yes.
But
so this is 11 bedrooms.
Just 11?
Just 11. 15 and a half bathrooms. I always think that's funny.
Do you think? I was just thinking that. Like, do you think it's
like
weird
there's
that
always more bathrooms
than
whatever?
I mean, I get that you have one.
I
like that you have one in like the what would you call it? Like main living area, so somebody doesn't have to use your personal one in your bedroom.
Yes, agreed.
But like, why do you need that many more?
A lot. a lot.
I mean, maybe there's one like in the garage. There's one at the pool house. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's, well, because there is, so let me just, so it says it's just under 11,000 square feet. There's multiple buildings. It's spanning over 130 acres. So lots and lots of property. But it also has its private, like jet hangar.
You should buy that.
I know. Like, how great would that be?
I mean, we should, Taylor, if you're listening and you want to live in Sonoma County, we could get you a private jet hangar. And if you want to learn to ride horses.
That's right. That's right. And, you know,
nobody would bother you.
She has a really great real estate portfolio. So maybe we could just add a Sonoma County
nobody would bother her. And like her and like Travis, they can go to like Ernie's Tin Bar, have a little beer.
And you could put a boat. Like, we used to go, what was that spot on the river?
Steamers.
You could boat to it.
Landing, or the one that
there was a Greek restaurant.
Oh, there was, and then there was one
in Petaluma. There was a Greek restaurant.
Yeah, no, it was right on the river.
Yeah.
And when
you had to boat to it, and then we would just go have lunch, and then you just boat around or whatever, and then you can go out. It's fun. We have boats. My father-in-law has a big boat.
Yeah, when I was a kid, there was that, and then there was, you used to be able to pull up to the dock in Petaluma, and there was Steamer's Gold Landing. That was a restaurant where the mill is. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that was the hot to try.
Well, hey,
like, if you were all that in a cup of tea, you'd be pulling up your boat, you know, in the 80s with your, like, your Dove shorts, and you'd get out with your Varnays or whatever you
Wow.
Yeah. Well, my dad had a boat back then, so we were a boating family. So you'd do that, you'd have your lunch. Yeah. And then there was also a place in Marin, like on the Novato Narrows, that we would drive to as a kid. It was like an oyster little restaurant. We'd go there. I forget what it was called, but that was like...
There's one in Sausalito that you could go to. I think that's just like the Marine Yacht Club or something like that. That's a good spot also.
But you used to be able to do this, but then what happened is they didn't dredge it, right? So then the river, like at all those places you couldn't get to.
It gets all like ucky.
Well, it's kind of like the adobe clay, so it gets muddy.
Yeah. You don't want your boat getting stuck.
No, especially if you have what is it called? We had a
yacht.
We did not
have
sorry, but we didn't have a yacht. Sorry. First we had a jet boat. Then we had a ski boat.
I had a jet boat before.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did it have pipes in the back?
Yeah.
So did ours. Yeah. What color was yours?
Like tan. I sold it to my sister.
I
had a Yamaha.
Ours was canary, like yellow with brown metal flakes. That was my like kid. How I learned to ski.
Yeah. We've always, we've had a boat for a long time. We bought our first boat when, I think Bea was like maybe a year old.
Yeah.
We used to take her on I have a picture of Bea on my father-in-law's boat. It's a very large boat, so there's like an under cabin.
Oh, yeah, he has like a
day
cruiser. Yeah, he has like a yacht.
Yeah, so it's got like the dinette, like a bathroom and a kitchen.
I used to go when I was in the boat show, when I would go to the boat show.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Crawl in them.
And they love it. Like, that's part of what they want to do when, they're retired now, but that was their retirement plan.
So cool.
So anyway, but I have a picture of Bea when they first bought the boat, and we were going to the Greek restaurant, and she was like 3 months old, maybe 4 months old. And we're sitting down in the under cabin because I was so nervous for her to be up top.
Oh, yeah.
With the big old life vest. And I couldn't even see
her little head.
Well, because I was nursing her and I couldn't even put her close to me because she's
that
like this big old life vest on. So my kids have been on boats since I
grew up boating too. My dad. It was really fun. But my husband doesn't know how to drive a boat. So when we go now, I have to be the boat driver.
You need a boating license. Now.
What?
Yeah. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, you have to take, if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
And honestly, everybody should have one.
There's
so many numbnuts on the water. So just to be frank.
Well, my friend after high school, somebody I went to high school with, he lost his leg at
oh my God.
Up at Konocti skating. Somebody ran over him.
That's frightening. I would never.
I mean, he lived, but lost his leg.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. And people drinking, you can get buoys, right?
Oh, yeah. We don't drink and drive. My best friend doesn't drink alcohol, which is great because she's always our DD.
That's good. But yeah. Back in the day, anything would go.
I know. And people still live that life. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Yeah. And they don't know they get these boats, but they don't know how to drive, let alone, we should have a whole episode on launching the boat. I have this story I'll have to tell you one day about the boating dock.
Okay, this is off topic. we should probably sum that. We're going to be running late.
But we'll do design trends in the next episode.
Yeah, we will, because we get a campsite that we can see the launch, just so we can just sit there with like.
Okay, I have to tell you the best
with
story.
Our feet up to watch these people who, and then there's been times where I'm in a line and I'll just watch someone back it up.
Or how about the swearing?
I swear to God, I've gotten out of my car and be like, "Do you need me to back up that trailer for
No,
you?"
it's a story.
Like people do.
Or when they try to like put it on the trailer and it's like falling off. So
my husband and I got it down 30 seconds. I can back up.
Good.
He's on. We're good to go.
So I have to share, since we're talking about boats, this is the best story ever. So we grew up boat camping. Do you know what boat camping is? So we did that
Boat in, yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in junior high, we finally got a houseboat, which was amazing. I felt like we were like moving up to like a yacht.
Cool.
So we used to go to this lake called Lake Inglebright, out of like Marysville, kind of. And I was not at this trip, and I really wish I was, but my dad and my stepmom and my brother and sister invited a friend and their daughter and son, and she had a minivan. And if you've ever been to this boat launch, it's like, one of those ones like this. So my dad was always really nice, and he was like, kind of like, if you want me to drive down and, do this. Yeah. Now, mind you, these people are funny. There's people that don't know how to camp, and especially like we're in the middle of nowhere here. This is not the KOA. Like There's a very different situation. She's got like a TV with her, like.
Are you kidding?
No, like all this like shit that camping. Like I don't know, like a mini refrigerator. So all of a sudden, my dad has got his boat off because he has to pull up to the dock to get her to put her crap in so they could go out to the campsite. And he sees her coming down. He's like, break!
No.
Full on minivan, just straight in the lake. Floating. All of a sudden, you see the windows and like the pillows are coming out.
I would paid to see that.
like the TV.
Oh.
So my dad goes like running down, and he's like trying, and he's like, what the fuck? Like if you knew my dad like
oh
that.
Oh my God, that's so.
And he's like, never in our life have we seen somebody this straight.
Like I watched
like full board.
And that's probably before cell phones had like you can just record things. If not, that would be on a TikTok.
And my dad's like, what did you do? Not even his wife. Like, what did you do? So needless to say, they're blocking the whole freaking boat launch.
We got shit floating everywhere.
And they can't get the car out. So they have to call a tow truck.
Oh.
So all her stuff is wet. And they have to keep her for like a week. Because they can't get a hold of her husband. So then the best part is after, and he's like, my dad would be like, fucking women drivers, like if you knew my dad, like sorry, but that just would be my dad.
I love it. And
he's it just was like, it's just like so funny. So they had to keep her, but the best part was my dad had like a double cab truck. So then they all had to like squish in the truck, drive home.
So we had to hang out with her for a week. And he had to fucking drive her home.
Needless to say, I don't think she ever went camping with us.
No, she's on the do not invite list.
That the best part was, she's like, the brakes gave out. So they pull the car out, and my dad walks over. And he taps the brake.
And it works just fine?
It works just fine.
Fucking idiot.
So if today, in today's day and age, like somebody would have had a phone that they could have videoed that would have.
I watched those.
Yes.
When I'm not watching the eclipse. When I'm not watching the eclipse, those are the videos I watch. Are like people on a boat ramp who don't know how to drive.
And my dad, we'd always be like, "What do you mean, women? We could drive just fine." And then we'd get like mad at my dad.
I love it.
It'd be really funny. But anyways, since we were talking about books,
good story.
Good story. I love it.
I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up for today. Now that we've given you a story hour today.
Yeah, this was story hour, which I love it. I love it. And now, like, I need to go fix my makeup because I'm crying for laughing so hard. So, anyway, everybody. Oh, I think I just died.
Well, we're gonna conclude for today.
Hold on. Oh, hold on.
Apryl died.
Sorry, my camera died. Okay, anyway, we're finished for today. Everybody have an amazing day.
We hope you can laugh as much as we can today. Have a good day.
Bye.